Hey guys, Share John coming at you with another Path of Exile video. Alright, on this video, what we're going to focus on is going to be such things as like chaos vending recipes, as well as other, I shouldn't say recipes, so to speak, but other like tricks that'll help you with progressing in Path of Exile. That'll make it a little easier because I know a lot of beginner players, when they're starting to just kind of learn a little bit about Path of Exile, it's a lot to take in at once, especially things like crafting, finding the right gear, knowing what's good, knowing what's bad, and trying to acquire more and more and more. So we're going to go ahead and give you kind of like a very broad general way of progressing and doing like chaos recipes to increase what you have currency wise, or doing other vendor recipes to give you, say, like turning your crappy rings into life rings so that way you can keep running, stuff like that, which is going to help you out tremendously when trying to progress in Path of Exile. And also how you can take, if you have like a crap ton of the same weapon that you really need and you just can't get that right base, we'll also show you how to go ahead and vendor them in a certain way that'll then give you back another base to kind of gamble with it, so that way you're not just salvaging and then having to keep running. So we're going to kind of cover a little bit of all that this entire video. The goal is to keep it kind of brief and very, not necessarily high level, but a little high level, so that way you guys can just understand the concept and the thought process, and that way you can actually apply it the way you want to on your account. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's just dive right into it. So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull up, there's actually a website that is the Poe Wiki. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull that up real quick and just show you guys in general what we're gonna first talk about a little bit, so that way you understand what I'm getting at, and that way you have a little bit of context as to what I'm about to show you. So on this website, it'll tell you all the recipes for the vendors. I'll definitely leave a link down below so that way you can click on it and you can jump right to this, so you can follow along this video if you would like. Pause now and then unpause. Okay, so for example, if you scroll down to the section where it says like straight flash or full rare sets, that's going to be the first recipe we're going to talk about, because full rare sets is going to be the one that's going to kind of generate some currency for those of you that are trying out Trade League. So you're going to be able to get chaos back from just doing farming and not really knowing what you're doing, so then you can buy better gear on the website. And I'll do a video later where I explain how to do searches, how to find what you need, yada yada. But to start off with, you kind of need that currency so you can buy it. So these full rare sets are definitely going to be the recipes you want to follow. So as you scroll down here, you can see what is a full set. A full set is 1 two-handed weapon, 1 one-hand, 1 shield, 2 one-hand or 2 shields, helmet, body, gloves, boots, amulet, ring. So basically you need to be able to take all this gear, put it on your character, take it off and vendor it, and that's the recipe. Now that does not mean do not vendor your gear that you currently have equipped on your character. This means when you drop new items, this is what you want to pick up and look for. So now you can see, okay, what happens when you vendor them. So you can do this whole process at the very beginning. You do not have to wait until you get to level 60 down here to start getting chaos. Even if you want to just get in the habit of doing it as you're leveling your character before you even get to maps, you can do the chaos recipe and trade it out for orbs of chance. Then you can trade orbs of chances later for other currencies, and it just works out. Now, is this the best, most optimal? No. If you're trying to blast through content, this is not a good idea. However, this video is under the topic of wanting to learn. So if you're trying to learn and progress, currency is always tremendous. And if you're getting a bunch of crap gear, you might as well stockpile it, vendor it, so that way you get more return and gives you more to play with and at least do, so to speak, while you're learning. The big takeaway here though is you will see here where it says, as long as the item is level 60 to 74, you will get 1 chaos. Now, if everything is unidentified or 20 qual, you get 2 chaos. If everything is 60 to 74 unidentified and all 20% quality, which is very rare, you get 3 chaos. Basically, if you run certain maps and you get these drops, you want to go ahead and keep them, set them aside, because if they're 20 qual, then you can then sell them and grab 3 easy chaos. Not something you're going to be going after all the time. I would just say focus on identify everything, get the 1 chaos orb, call it a day. Or what I'm about to tell you next is, if you know, for example, what your bases are of your gear and you don't see those bases, then you can pick up everything, leave it unidentified and sell it, because you're not going to care because it doesn't pertain to your build. And if you hit alt in the game, and I'll show you real quick. So if we let's say we open up open up here. If you hit Alt, you will see at the top of these gloves here where it says item level 83. This means that's the eye level. If you hit Alt, you can see the eye level. So let's say you have one that is very, very low, and it's right at the threshold of that. What is that? 60, I think, is what it said. 60 to 74, I think, is what the thing is said. Yeah. So we're at that threshold. Just keep it, vendor it. Very easily to do. If you go above it, you will get a regal orb. So if everything is level 75 to 100, you get regal orbs back. And that can be a little different because that's not exactly what you're looking for necessarily, but regal orbs are great because you can turn your blue items into yellow items with the regal orb. So I definitely do like the chaos recipe for regals because it is very, very nice. But also, once again, if you unidentify them, you get more. And if you're using higher tier gear, you have a better chance of getting better mods on your gear. So be very cognizant of that, right? So maybe identify everything and just go for the one regal or the chaos, and what you get is what you get. Basically, as soon as you pass the threshold of like tier 5, tier 6 maps, you're gonna be in this 75 to 100 range. So definitely keep that in mind. If you want to do the chaos recipe, you want to be below like tier 5 maps, so that way you can guarantee that you're going to get some items that are at least level 60 to 74 for this recipe. Definitely a very big notable, and we'll show this in game here in just a second. But also, this entire website will show you a lot of various things, right? So you have where you can where is it, where's another good one that's very common to utilize here. This is the conversion right here for if you want to go ahead and vendor convert. That's definitely something you want to take note of. So this is down under the direct purchase from vendors if you're still following along. If you sell a 6-socketed gem, you get 7 jewelers back. Definitely keep that in mind. If you see those laying on the ground, you want to always vendor those. These recipes here are for certain uniques. Now, I don't think anyone's really going to be going for a lot of these uniques. Maybe this one, assassin bow, depending on what your build is. But basically, you can vendor these three items here and get one. One of those things you don't have to do by any means. Same thing with this down here. You can follow these recipes and get desired items, or not follow them and don't get desired items. Doesn't matter at all. But the other one that's kind of very popular that a lot of people will do is like creating a coral amulet and a ruby ring. So like getting a ruby ring is very helpful. Also getting a prismatic ring can be helpful kind of at the beginning. And as you can see here, if you vendor 3 two-stone rings, that gives you a prismatic. If you vendor an iron ring and a red gem, that gives you ruby. If you do the iron ring and a blue or a blue or green, green, and that'll give you your lightning and your cold options for your resistances, because you want to keep your resistances high as you're starting out. This is a quick, easy way to get that guaranteed right at the beginning, because iron rings drop almost immediately, like right after you leave the beach, you get them dropped. So that will allow you to take crappy gems that you get when you're collecting your rewards and go ahead and vendor them and get the correct resistance that you need for your character. So this is very important. You definitely want to pay attention to it. And also getting this coral amulet from the beginning is great. And sometimes you have to worry about, okay, well, I got to get an iron ring, coral, like you got to have all these other things. It's okay, because you're going to eventually pick them up anyways. And as long as you're aware of what you're looking for, it's a lot easier to grab it. And that's the biggest takeaway. All right, so that's going to kind of cover the website, what's on this website that I'm pointing out currently. I would definitely recommend everyone go to this website, take a look at it, take a jaunt at it, and just kind of see, okay, what other recipes could be helpful for me and how my play style, or what am I looking for, or how should I be doing things. It'll give you a lot of information here. Unfortunately, I just don't have the time to really break it down and digest it for you, but high level, go check it out. It'll help you out tremendously. All right, so let's go back into the game here. And as you can see, we still have the game pulled up. Now, I already have a crap ton of gear over here. I promise this is not a map run, that is a bunch of clutter. What I have is I have a chaos recipe dump tab. This league, I'm not really doing the chaos recipe. I just did it just for the purpose of this video. Now that I'm crafting a little bit more and learning more about crafting, I'm not so worried about the chaos recipe as I used to be. But I wanted to go ahead and show it to you guys. So what I do is I do a quad tab, and I group everything. I put all my armors, my boots, my amulets, my rings, my sashes, my helmets, my gloves, and all the weapons Some of this is clutter from being a dump tab, but I put it all in together and I organize it. So what I can do is when I go through a map and I sort, then all I can do is just go ahead and pop it over here when I get a full set. You can fit 2 full sets in your inventory as long as you don't have like your portals and wisdom scrolls. So you can always vendor 2 at the same time if you would really like to. And then what you do is you come over here to any vendor. It does not matter which one you utilize. If you hit sell button and you go ahead and go through this, you will see that right there we have put the full set in here and we got a regal orb. Why did we get a regal orb? So you remember when I said if you hit the alt button, it'll show you what the eye level is of your gear. So once we do that, let's go ahead and just cancel this trade and we will look at the eye level of these gears. You're gonna see that every single one of them is eye level 75 or higher. And because they're 75 or higher, that means we automatically fall into the regal department, not into the chaos department. Now, we do have a chaos recipe built in here. So if I go ahead and I hit control here, boom, 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 boom. We haven't quite hit it yet, but as soon as I put this ring in there, because it's item level 52, I think, oh, I missed one. What did I miss? Gloves. That one. But, so, oops, my bad. Take that one back out. Oh, nope, we want that back in. Want that out. There we go. Chaos recipe up here. So that's because one item was under 75 and that made it chaos, not regal. So you can also collect other pieces of gear and then just keep some old stock or inventory for if you just want chaos and not regal orbs. There is a difference. Chaos is going to randomize modifiers on a yellow. Regal is going to turn a blue into a yellow and add modifiers. So they do different things. So you may not always want to get the one and maybe the other. So definitely keep that in mind. In this case, I'm gonna go ahead and cancel. I want to go ahead and vendor, and I want the regal if I'm gonna do this and whatnot. Since I'm crafting, regal orbs are amazing for me. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grab a pair of gloves because I screwed that up. Actually, yep, screwed that up. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, and then there's that chaos. It's fine, we'll take that. And then we'll go ahead and put them both in there. Now, the other thing that we're going to point out here that was not necessarily going to be on that website is I have, once again, if I go back to my chaos recipe tab, I have a crap ton of these wands. So if I vendor them, what happens? Notice that they're all the same. Okay. Why does that matter? It matters because if you vendor 5 of them, you will get one back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, right here. So if we go take these 5 here and we go vendor them, we get one back. Why is this important? Why am I noting it? Because sometimes, depending on what you're trying to do, once again, this is item 78 here. And then if you look at these are all basically item 78. But what it's gonna do is it's gonna give you back one that could have a possibility for a better roll. 1, it could have a better roll, or 2, another modifiers. So instead of just salvaging these as you go, so let's say you pick up 2, 3, maybe 4 on a map, what you can do is you can go ahead and take them, dump them into your stash and organize them into, like, say, hey, these are duplicates of this item. And then you can go vendor them at the same time and you can actually get one back. Now, if you're trying to get currency, this is not necessarily going to be helpful, but if you're a new player, chances are you don't care about currency as much as you care about getting a good piece of gear. So this allows you to go ahead and vendor it, get another one back, and then now I can identify this one and see if it's any good. If it's good, awesome. If it's not, well, you know what? It's okay. Not the end of the world. We can go ahead and put it back into the mix, right? But that's definitely something to be very wary of. Another thing to point out is, so that is very popular on other parts of the game. So it's not just like wands or weapons that if you vendor 5 of, you get a return. So your maps, your jewels, your sockets, like those types of things are the same type of deal. And like your quality gems, you have to get like 40% quality, so it could be variable, but these are always guaranteed. So for example, let's say I grab 5 cluster jewels here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you know what? I think I gotta grab one more because one of them's super under leveled. If I do this here, and let's go ahead and grab 5 of these eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll vendor those as well, and we can do 5 of these jewels. I've been saving this purposely for this video, so let's go ahead and do that. If you come over here, you can see we hit sell, and now let's say I vendor all 5 of these. Notice I get one back. Okay, none of these are anything that I necessarily want and or need, I don't think. No, they're all crap. So we'll go ahead and hit accept. So now what that does is that gives me back a new one that I will identify later and see what I get. Same thing happens with these eyes. Now these do have to be the same type. If they're a different type of eye, because they do drop a lot from the abysses, it will not count. You will not get this new one exchanged up here, unfortunately. But these, once again, let's say we don't do one. So if we don't do these, it's literally some shards, alterations, and shards of alterations. So you're not missing out on currency by going ahead and doing this particular recipe. So always do this. It's going to help you out tremendously. So we'll identify that in a second. Now, last thing is going to be cluster jewels, and these are very important to make sure you stockpile. So I must have had too many low levels. This is the one where I don't really pay that much attention. I just kind of throw them in there until I get the one back. Over here, boom. So notice that now we have a hidden item, and then if I grab, probably that blue needs to come out, and yeah, that blue? There we go, perfect. So it's still the 5, crap. Nope, not on that one. There, that one. So it's still 5. They're all basically the same level, and this gives me my hidden item. So if I go ahead and I vendor this, what that gives me is a hidden item, and right here it went to the top. It's unidentified now, and it is 11 passive. So you want to try to do this as much as you can to 1, get the right passive skills, and also for 2, because large cluster jewels, right, you want as little as possible, or mediums or smalls. You want the smallest amount, not the largest amount that's possible. So this gives you a chance to go ahead and get another good one. Because they don't drop that often. Usually have to be in like a delirium to get a lot of really good ones. I know a lot of people will farm the aqueducts for them right at the beginning. But yeah, so now we identify it and we say, okay, well, if that's good or bad, whatever the case may be, and then we regenerate it, right? We throw it back in there. So every time you do this, so you do this 5 times, then you get the ones back. They're all trash. Well, then guess what? Now you get to do it again and recycle everything. And it's a little less work farming wise, but it is a lot of inventory management that you have to utilize. I would definitely recommend buying a few quad tabs to help you out with this. They're not too expensive, especially if you watch my other video where we talk about when they have sales on stash tabs. But yes, definitely keep all this in mind when you're playing the game, and most of all, just have fun. This game has a lot going on. It can be very difficult. It can be very cumbersome at times. If you get stuck, reach out to a content creator or leave a comment somewhere, hop on Reddit, wherever. Even though a lot of the community can be toxic, everyone is going to always usually be willing to help you out to kind of get you going, because the people who play Path of Exile love Path of Exile, so it makes it a little easier to work with others. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Definitely check out the website I linked. It's going to help you with knowing some of the vendor recipes. Hopefully these recipes help you out a lot as well. If they do, leave a comment down below so that way I know that, hey, this was good. And if not, leave a comment down below. Let me know why. I'd love to hear the feedback. So that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.